In a spooky mansion high up on a hill, there lived a little ghost named Boo. Now, Boo wasn't your average ghost. While the other ghosts loved to rattle chains, slam doors, and send shivers down the spines of anyone who came near, Boo just couldn't get it right. He'd float through walls, trying to give his spookiest woo, but the only thing he ever frightened was his own reflection in the mirror. One evening, after a particularly embarrassing attempt to scare the ghost cat, who simply yawned and rolled over, Boo decided that enough was enough. "I'm going to show them I can be scary," he declared. "I'll be the spookiest ghost the world has ever seen." So, he floated down the hill and into the nearby village, ready to frighten whoever crossed his path. His first target was Mrs. Butterworth, the kind bakery owner who was always humming a happy tune while kneading dough. Boo sneaked up behind her and tried his scariest boo sound. But Mrs. Butterworth wasn't scared at all. Instead, she turned around with a smile and said, "Oh, hello, Boo. Are you here for a cookie?" She handed him a giant chocolate chip cookie, which Boo, of course, accepted with a grin. "No one's ever scared of me." Boo groaned, but Mrs. Butterworth just chuckled and patted him on the head. "You know, Boo, you're much more adorable than spooky." Boo floated away, determined to get it right. He flew through the village, making eerie noises, swooping over rooftops, and trying to rattle a few fences. But the villagers didn't react the way he expected. Instead of running in fear, they waved and said, "Hi, Boo." Undeterred, Boo thought, "Maybe I'll scare someone if I try a little harder." So, he floated into Timmy's yard. Timmy was a little boy who loved playing outside and was always up for fun. Boo crept up behind him, ready to give his best boo. But just as he did, he tripped on a pile of pumpkins and knocked them all over with a loud thud. "Whoa! That was awesome!" Timmy laughed. "You made the pumpkins roll like a bowling ball." He then invited Boo to play a game of tag. "You're it!" Timmy shouted, tapping Boo gently on the shoulder. Boo was confused. I'm it. But I'm supposed to be scaring you." "Well, you're more fun than scary," Timmy said with a smile. "Come on, let's race." As Boo tried to float away, his ghostly form wobbled and bounced like a balloon, and before he knew it, Timmy was already way ahead. They ran, floated, and giggled for hours, with Boo tagging Timmy and then Timmy tagging him back. It was the most fun Boo had ever had. The next day, Boo went back to the mansion feeling a bit different. He hadn't scared anyone, but he sure had a lot of fun. The other ghosts were busy practicing their spooks. "Boo!" they shouted, rattling chains and glowing their scariest glow. "Look at us! We're terrifying!" Boo floated over to them and said, "You know, scaring people isn't all it's cracked up to be. I think being nice is way better." The other ghosts stared at him, puzzled. "What do you mean?" "Scaring is the best part of being a ghost." But Boo just laughed. "I don't need to scare anyone. I made friends with Mrs. Butterworth, and Timmy even invited me to play tag." The other ghosts laughed and shook their heads. "Boo, you're too friendly. You'll never be a real ghost." But Boo didn't mind. The next day, he floated back into the village. He played games with Timmy, helped Mrs. Butterworth bake cookies, which were, by the way, delicious, and even got a pet mouse named Whiskers to play hide-and-seek with him. Soon enough, the villagers looked forward to Boo's visits. They'd wave and invite him into their homes. The once dark and gloomy mansion on the hill became a place of laughter and warmth. The once dark and gloomy mansion on the hill became a place of laughter and warmth. He wasn't scary, but he was certainly loved. And you know what? Boo didn't need to be scary. He was the happiest ghost around because he had friends who loved him just as he was. The other ghosts eventually began to understand. They saw how Boo's friendliness made the village a brighter place and decided to give it a try. Soon, The mansion wasn't full of chains and spooky sounds, it was filled with laughter, games, and cookies. Moral: true strength isn't in scaring others, but in kindness, laughter, and being yourself. Sometimes, the best way to be remembered is with a smile, not a scream. The end.
Subscribe to my channel.
Channel 登録